Well, here I am in the London store, and I'm very excited today because I'm showcasing a new brand of saxophones. This is called Atlantic London. Now, these instruments have been designed by a small team of experienced people led by my fellow director, Jamie Straker. And in brief, this is a new professional level instrument made from quality materials with a great sound, and crucially, it is a very affordable instrument in the context of today's boutique style instruments. The brand name draws inspiration from those great iconic saxophones either side of the Atlantic, if you like. Think of the Cons in America, Selma Paris in Europe. Hence, we have Atlantic. And I'm very excited to get into this today for you folks. So the obvious question on your lips at this stage may well be, why do it? Why design a saxophone in the first place? And the thing is, this goes back to Jamie's desire to create something new and different and bespoke and interesting and eye-catching. I think he's felt that in the modern market, there are many saxophones, albeit very good saxophones, that all do a very similar thing and have a very similar look and don't necessarily inspire a huge amount of people. Nothing against some of these great saxophones, but he just wanted to produce something that was different. In embarking upon this project, he surrounded himself with great professional players, technicians based here in London. We have such a pool of great resources here in this city. And one of the key things was finding a factory who'd be willing to be flexible to try these new ideas in creating a saxophone that Jamie and his team would be entirely happy with. And I have to say, from my point of view, I've been recommending one or two things, but from the sidelines. So I've sort of had a distant approach to this and have just been viewing this whole project with interest. So here we have an unlacquered outer. There's also a cognac finish available. And the first models are known as the Duke, which is a pretty cool name, I think. So just taking the instrument from top to bottom, first of all, I'm struck by this neck, which has this lovely octave lever on it, just stylish and a bit different from the usual with this kind of wire thing going on here. I do like that. And it's called the Rizzo Plus neck. And then as we move down the saxophone, I'm struck by the main thing that strikes me. I mean, all of this looks very nice, but immediately my eyes are drawn to these key guards here on the bottom B flat and the bottom B and the C key here and the E flat key. It's just something a little bit different having these wire style key guards, which is something reminiscent of the key guards that we'd see on old con instruments. So that's absolutely fantastic. And we have a rib-style construction, which is to say that all of these posts are soldered onto this section of ribbing that runs entirely down the length of the instrument for extra solidity in design. We have rolled tone holes here running up and down the entirety of the instrument. And then you can't not but notice this beautiful engraving here, which is kind of like a hybrid of a traditional style engraving and an Art Nouveau style engraving. It looks really stunning and eye-catching, if you ask me. Okay, let's just look at some of the aspects of the design of the instrument that contribute towards the sound that you've just heard there. So first of all, we have this Reso Plus neck, as mentioned before. As I understand it, many prototypes of necks came through before arriving at this particular one, which has offered that nice core sound that you have just heard there. Adding to the sound, we've got this bell flare here, which I always feel just gives a little bit more resonance and just makes those bottom notes speak out a little bit more. The entire material is a high quality brass, which just, for me, I always find it offers a more homogeneous sound brass over and above some of the other materials that can be great, but you just get this nice sort of identifiable sound with brass where there's a really nice straightforward core, and I really feel a kind of a core connection with this saxophone alto as well as on the tenor. Another important area of focus for developing this brand was having something that had great playability. And actually, this was an area of my input. It's very personal to me to have something that I just feel where I pick up a saxophone and I can play it without fighting with the instrument. There's nothing worse than picking up an instrument, you play it, you hear a great tone, and you move from one note to the next note, and then before you realize it, you're not quite covering the tone hole properly, and instead of playing beautiful music and just sort of letting go and enjoying yourself, you tend to be thinking about key placement and how hard or soft you should press. So it was very important to me that these instruments should arrive from the factory with a really great, smooth key action, and they have actually done a really great job here. As I waggle my fingers up and down on the keyboard here, it feels smooth and light and like the keys are popping just the way I'd want it to. I think it's worth just taking a moment to appreciate the unboxing process with Atlantic saxophones, because as I open up this box, I'm presented with an array of colour, all of these goodies. It's like Christmas has come early. First of all, we have this lovely Atlantic branded strap here with gold trimmings and finishing. It's actually really comfortable. I've been enjoying using this through the entirety of the video. So it's a very nice addition there. Atlantic are pairing with Sios mouthpieces from France, and they've actually designed this mouthpiece specifically to go with the instrument, and it's got a really cool look as well. I love the contrast of the black mouthpiece and the white ligature. It goes brilliantly with the finishes that are on offer. Also, there's a pairing with Silverstein, this Omni cap here, again just adding a touch of class to proceedings. And then we also have this rather large looking but impressive shoulder strap. I'll keep that in the bag, but it's always nice to see those things. As we take the saxophone out of the box, we are presented with a very, very nice looking case, I have to say. Shaped, obviously, real nice sheen to it. I love this branding here on the outside. It's got some nice solid clips. That's just a very attractive case altogether. And let's take a look at the saxophone inside. Looks great sitting inside this very sort of strong padded interior, and a really nice touch of class is this end cap up here. Often we just see a sort of cheap throwaway plastic bung at the top here, but this, again, no expenses spared with Atlantic. This is a really nice bespoke end cap. Yeah, so I really love all these little touches. Great work there. So my overall thoughts on the Atlantic, well, so far I have to say I've been really impressed. A number one standout feature for me is the playability. The fact that everything is just pinging into place. We don't have to fight with the instrument, it just works perfectly. So I can just get on with making music, which I really love. But then also the sound. These instruments just sound great. I love a good old proper core sound, and I feel that both the alto and the tenor have that identifiable core sound, and you can push it. The sound can go bold and bright when you really give it some, and at the same time when you lay it back, it's got that nice earthy, dark, traditional sound. So a nice flexibility of sound there, which is fantastic. And then of course, as I mentioned at the outset, they just look great. I mean, visually, these instruments are really stunning. When you look at it and just hold it in your hands, it speaks to me of just own me and play me forever because you are a great looking saxophone. I love that about it. I think a lot of people will be very excited to get their hands on these because it's just such a pleasant thing to look at, and you'd feel joy in owning one of these instruments. But then onto the sort of maybe the more serious side of things, which is this an accessible instrument? And I really feel so in terms of the price, because this is an affordable instrument. And if you actually take the market in general at the moment, there are many brands out there, great brands doing a fantastic job, but prices are kind of going up and up and up. And in some cases, the price is just out of reach for many of us. But with Atlantic, the pricing seems to be set at a level that is attainable for a really great professional instrument that doesn't miss out anything. You know, it's attended to every need of the sax player. So from that point of view, all these boxes are being ticked, and I think we really have a great new professional brand on the market here. I'm very excited to see how it progresses and what other models come into play beyond the Duke, which is being launched here. Here at Sax, we now have these in stock, as I say, in the cognac and the unlacquered finishes. You're welcome to order these online. They are available and they are in store for you to come here and try today.